Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaura Bhaktivinoda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Agyanatimirandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshurmilitam Jena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. So we just concluded chapter 2, which is entitled Gyan, or knowledge. Now, true knowledge actually leads to the understanding of the living being's relationship with God. That's actual knowledge. That is real wisdom. And when one understands that relationship with the Lord, then one should act upon it, and that's called Bhajan, or the mode of worship. So chapter 3 is called Bhajan, worship. Shri Gopakumar said, when I came from Brahmalok, you remember that he was on the Brahmalok, acting as Brahma in the interim while Brahma was gone, but desiring to reunite with his true spiritual heritage, he wanted to go back to Vrindavan. So when I came from Brahmalok to the earth, I saw that nowhere was there even a hint of the way things had been before. Certainly, time changes everything. Only Shri Mathura looked like it had been before, graced with the same forests, the mountains, the rivers, and filled with the same kind of creatures. Remembering the Supreme Lord's order, I wandered throughout Vrindavan. When I entered this very same grove, I saw my spiritual master, unconscious, in a trance of ecstatic love. The commentary says, Gopakumar remembered when the personality of Godhead told him, go to Vrindavan and there you will find your beloved spiritual master. So that was the order of the Lord, that the Lord knew that Gopakumar was hankering again to go to his original source of spiritual inspiration, which was the Dham of Vrindavan. He was a cowherd boy living there, where he met his spiritual master also. So the Lord says, go back to Vrindavan, and there you will again meet with your spiritual master. The idea, again, is that he needs to grow spiritually. He's been on a journey, quite a journey of wonder, I would say, but still he needs to grow in his maturity or understanding. With great endeavor, I brought that all-knowing sage back to normal. And when he saw me bowing down before him, he embraced me, at once understanding the desire in my heart. He bathed and then taught me various rules for worshiping and meditating on the mantra he had given. Some of these instructions he spoke, others he gave through gestures. So Gopakumar from the very beginning was initiated into the Gopal mantra. The chanting of the Gopal mantra was given to him, and he held on to that as being his life force or connection to true spiritual wisdom. So he continually chanted it throughout his journeys through the planetary systems and so forth. But as was described earlier, he wasn't given much instruction with that. So now his guru is giving him various instructions on the methods of worship and the means of meditating upon the mantra that he had given him. He then said, "Because you are very dear to me, I have now given you everything I possess. By the power of this mantra, you will understand and attain everything on your own." The commentary reads, "We should not doubt that the Guru, simply by a few words and gestures, could teach Gopakumar everything there was to know. Though true spiritual knowledge cannot be achieved merely by a collection of information, it can be gained by the mercy of one's spiritual master, which awakens transcendental knowledge naturally in one's heart. As the Guru indicates here, Gopakumar, by the power of the mantra, will come to comprehend everything, not only what he has just learned, but also things yet to be learned. In other words, I've given you the mantra. This is the seed, the bij, through which the entire reality of spiritual life will open up to you. It's like sometimes it's said like a bij, like a seed that is planted by the spiritual master in the heart. He gives us the mantra in the ear, and then awakens our devotion by watering that seed with his instructions. And then says, now it's time for you to continue to water that by practicing this method of devotion, and everything will bloom in due course of time, fully bloom into pure love of Godhead. Prema Bhakti. With great joy, I fell at his feet, and then all of a sudden, he was gone. He had gone elsewhere, unnoticed. I tried hard to calm my mind, which was pained by his departure, and I reverentially began to chant my mantra as instructed. The spiritual master sometimes appears, sometimes disappears, but he is always there with us, just like Srila Prabhupada was once questioned by some disciples that don't you miss seeing your Guru Maharaj, Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati? He said, he's always with me. And so one should always feel the presence of one's Guru within one's heart, that there should never be any absence of recognition of the Guru's mercy in our life, in other words. And sometimes it is said that the spiritual master is always living in sound. In other words, everything he has told us matures, and we can always reflect, oh yes, I remember when Gurudev said this to me or said that, and the instructions seem to keep manifesting and growing and maturing within us. So I was telling Guru Padney the other day, we were discussing, just like right now we're reading in one reading circle with my godbrothers and sisters, the Jaiva Dharma, which I'm reading on our Zoom days. So that Jaiva Dharma is so wonderful. But I've studied many of the books of Bhaktivinoda Thakur, and you can see how his instructions are still alive and relevant to our own spiritual growth and like that. So they're never, in other words, he is also like our Siksha Guru. Sometimes, like in ISKCON, they say Prabhupada is the Siksha Guru, meaning that everything is formulated around Prabhupada's instructions, and everything is there within his books. That's the strength that they hold on to, that Prabhupada came and he revealed all this within his books, and by his practical instructions, what to do, how to engage in devotional service. And so the strength of ISKCON then is in following the instructions of Srila Prabhupada as their Siksha Guru, that everybody who is connected there feels that Prabhupada is also part of it. And as Prabhupada often said, the spiritual master, the spiritual master's spiritual master is like it's called the Parama Guru. It's like what we would say, the grandfather. There's the father, then there's the grandfather. So the Parama Guru. There's Guru and then Parama Guru, father and grandfather. And often points out how the grandfather is always kinder in some senses than the father, and the father may appear more disciplinarian, and the grandfather is the nurturer. Sometimes that's the relationship. Not always, but sometimes. So, I chanted my mantra. I tried to hard to keep calm in my mind, which was pained by his departure. But I reverentially began to chant my mantra as he instructed. I then saw my body change into a form transcendental to the 5 material elements. And as I traveled upward, breaking through the sphere of the sun, I saw all the planetary systems. So this is, of course, a unique experience to Gopakumar himself. But it is described that when one receives Diksha, initiation from the spiritual master, one is given a body which is suitable to the service of the Lord. In other words, generally it is understood that the body that one is born with is one's karmic body. It is a body born of one's karma, fruitive actions. But by the power of Guru giving us the mantra and awakening within us the sense of devotion, there is a transformation. Unperceptible, maybe, but it is like we say foods become prasadam when offered to the Lord. Imperceivable. Looks like the same food that maybe you can buy at an Indian restaurant. But there's an imperceptible change there when it is offered before the Lord. Otherwise, why would hundreds and thousands and millions of people reach out their hand for prasad when they can get it? You see, like Jagannath Puri or somewhere else, that like the prasadam is the center of that place. Everyone wants Jagannath prasad, and the word prasad equates the word mercy in English. Prasad means mercy. So somehow the transformation of that prasad or that foodstuff into prasad carries a great mercy which purifies the heart. And so similarly, when the spiritual master gives us the mantra, there is an imperceptible transformation. That is, he gives us a body now that is suitable for the service of the Lord. Something that something has changed because the karmic body is now transformed into a spiritual body, it is described, because only the spiritual body can actually interact with God. It's an interesting idea, and it's like we said, it's imperceptible. But just like someone who has not received initiation cannot enter into the deity room or do the deity sevas and so forth. But it is not just that he's received a mantra and now and a thread or something and all external, but there's supposed to be an internal transformation that takes place, which gives one the ability to enter into the service of Krishna. Sometimes that is mentally cultivated. In the famous Radha Raman temple, for instance, they cultivate the mentality within their memories that when they enter into the deity room to serve Radha Raman, they leave the physical body behind and enter into their gopi body. That's their meditation. So that when they go, actually Krishna is with Radha, and who is there when Radha and Krishna are together? It's the gopis. So to serve Radha and Krishna, the one has to be in the mood of a gopi. That's the actual understanding. We can understand it from a lesser level, that physical level, that, okay, someone is a priest or a pujari and like that, and reverentially he goes into the deity room and serves God in the form of Krishna and serves his energy in the form of Radharani. That can be understood on some level. But in the higher level of understanding, Radha and Krishna are always in Vrindavan. They're never outside. So when you enter into the deity room, you're in Vrindavan. And in that deity room, if the deity room is then Vrindavan, then you have to have a Vrindavan body. Like that. So these subtle things, of course, manifest in time. I'm just saying that that's their meditation as they enter into the deity service. So for Gopakumar, he saw a change take place. We may not see it, it may be imperceptible, but he saw something take place. He changed in form, and not that he didn't have the cowherd boy body, he maintained that. But he saw that his body became transcendental to all the 5 material elements. And he traveled upward, breaking through the sphere of the sun, seeing all the planetary systems. I saw that these planets, tainted by many faults, adorned with mere reflections of happiness, were a product of illusion, no better than one sees in a flight of fancy or a dream. In other words, he saw hovering like this, looking downward, that he could see the worlds, he could see the negative aspects of all this, that people are suffering and so forth, and there's birth and death and strain in so many ways. And he saw that it was all a created illusion, that people were identifying with it as a reality, but immediately, if Krishna wanted, it could all fade away. All the atoms that hold together dissipate, and it's all energy back to the source of all energy, like that. So the planets I had earlier attained one by one over a long period of time, I now crossed in a blink of an eye, as if by the power of my mind alone. I reached the coverings of the universe, each of them more so than one before, was rich with enjoyments and opulences millions of times greater than even on Brahmalok. He went now above the Brahmalok, and this is to give us a perception of the structure of the universe, that there are different layers, covering layers, beyond the planets, and they are made up of the earth and the water and the fire and the air and ether and so forth. Souls who have transcended the false attributes of created things, who aspire for gradual liberation, strive also to go beyond the causative elements of creation, elements found again as false attributes in what is known as the subtle body. To do this, they enter the shell formed of each element. They enter into a body composed of that element and enjoy to their full desire the essence of pleasure to be had there. The living being has senses, but the senses correspond to the elements, the earth, the water, the fire, the air. Then it goes up from there to the subtle mind and intellect and ego and like that. So we enjoy with the eyes, we enjoy with the nose. The nose enjoys sense, which is carried by the air. It is also there that it is said that the earth manifests these sense. So everything is interconnected in various ways. The sun gives us the power to see, or light gives us the power to see. And thus we enjoy various visions and so forth. Without light, there's no enjoyment of those visions. So there's a yogic process by which the living being discards the subtle body. This is what he's talking about. I discard that body that is composed of earth by seeing all the pleasures that are available, and now I discard it. I enter into the realm where the water, which carries all types of tastes and experiences that could be had with the tongue and so forth. And I take that in and then I discard it. Discarding the body made up of earth, the body of water, fire. The fire of digestion is there and all of that. There's warmth in the body. That's a subtle form of fire. And so that is the source of light and heat and stuff. So I take that all in, and I enjoy all of that, and then I release myself from that. And I see that as all temporary, like this. So in that way, through this type of mystic meditation, one gives up his subtle connection with these elements. That I am not this body, not made up of earth or water or fire or air, like this. So to do this, they enter the shell formed of each of these elements. They enter in a body composed of that element and enjoy to their full desire the essence of the pleasures to be had there. The first covering I entered was that of earth. There I saw the Supreme Lord in the form of a great boar being worshipped by the goddess Earth. The Varaha is identified with the earth, and it is said Mother Earth worships Lord Boar. So each of the elements in their personified form, there is a form, a goddess, or a form in which the Lord is worshipped, and there is the form that the Lord is worshipped as. So here the first covering I entered was that of the earth. There I saw the Supreme Lord in the form of the great boar, who actually we know, according to Vedic Puranic tales, that the Lord picked up that earth, which was floating on the Garbhodak ocean and all connected with Hiranyaksha and like that. The story is there in the Bhagavatam. But there I saw that the goddess Earth worshipped that boar. The deity presiding over that covering. She worshipped him with riches not to be obtained within the universe itself, while all the opulence of the universe whirled within every pore of his body. Within the goddess Earth, who embodies the subtle causes of creation, I saw the creation itself manifesting with all its ingredients. After she finished worshiping the Lord, the goddess honored me as her guest and begged me to remain there to enjoy for a few days. Taking her leave, I quickly crossed beyond that covering, as if pulled by some force, and reached the other six. In other words, here it says, Bhog Artam. I was asked to come and enjoy all the pleasures of the earth, but that is a test. No, I'm going onwards. One can't get deviated. So we have to understand there may be tests also in our life, and no, I have to focus on where I'm going and what I'm going to obtain, what I want to achieve. So no, I can't stay here in this earthly realm. So one after another, I saw Matsya, the fish in the water, Surya, in the sun, Pradyumna, Aniruddha, Sankarshan, Vasudev, who represents the mind and the intelligence and the ego and the pure self. Each with one of the great manifested deities, of those coverings worshipped him with the element over what the deity presided. Water, Matsya, fire, Surya, air, Pradyumna, ego, Mahat, and like that. Mahat means the initial cause, or the unmanifested elements. Yeah. Each covering was the subtle cause of the one before it, and had a greater object of worship, a greater worshipper, and greater sense gratification, opulence, and importance as they began to manifest. It's kind of being able to see life forming itself. You know, it's like maybe seeing from the manifestation of a outpour of lava coming from the volcano and then hardening and forming life, and then a sprout of life. And there's that, I don't know if you've ever read that book, it's called Hawaii. And it's, who is the author? Huh? Yeah, Michener. It describes the whole formation of the islands and like that, and then goes into a whole story about the settlers there and the Christian missionaries and all of that taking up the land. But in any case, to see it all manifesting, he had this kind of divine vision, just like Arjuna was given the eyes to see in the 11th chapter of Bhagavad Gita. You know, the Lord reveals to him a universal form, and Arjuna is completely amazed and yet bewildered by it all. You know, to see how everything is emanating from the body of the Lord and how it is all part of that Krishna who is there as his own chariot driver. That Krishna, the chariot driver, who is carrying the reins and commanding my horses to move forward in this battle, actually has manifested this whole cosmic manifestation. So it's kind of a bewilderment. It's like Mother Yashoda hearing that Krishna has taken dirt and eaten dirt, and looking in his mouth and seeing the whole cosmic manifestation there. Everything is within Krishna, and yet Krishna can be outside of everything at the same time. So this is an amazing revelation for him. As before, I crossed over each of those coverings, finally came to a covering made of primordial nature, composed of the most subtle form of ignorance, dark blue, yet attractive to the eyes and the mind. There was something there. It was like a beauty, but it was formless. It hadn't yet manifested through the cosmos, but this was the source of all of that. It was attractive. It had a bluish complexion. It was most appealing. Seeing spread everywhere a color that resembled that of my worshipable Lord. I was very much delighted. I had no desire to go further. He was kind of bathing in the sham color of the. It's like bathing in the ocean or something. He's floating in this cosmic soup, something cosmic unmanifest. But there's a delight there, so he's actually experiencing that and attracted by the beauty of the color, which ultimately is coming from the Lord himself. As I arrived, the goddess Prakriti had just finished worshipping of her Lord, the Lord of that region, the effulgent Shri Mohini. The goddess at once approached me in her own superlative form. She offered me gifts, such as Anima Siddhi, all the yogic perfections. And like the goddess Earth and the other deities, she asked me to stay. She sweetly told me, if you want to achieve your goal of liberation, then please be kind and stay. I am the bestower of liberation. Or if you want devotion to Vishnu, still you should be kind and worship me, the giver of devotion, for I am his maidservant, his sister, the embodiment of his energy. Gopakumar said, declining all these enticements, understanding them to be the potency of Lord Vishnu, I bowed down to the goddess and then wandered for a while to see the beautiful colored region. That place was delightful and self-luminous, splendid, with the most excellent wonders. Enjoying it were multitudes of living entities, their bodies made of primordial matter. There were living beings there made up of the same substance and floating in this ocean of primordial matter, enjoying the energy. I guess is the best way to say it, enjoying the energy of the Lord and the beautiful manifestation of all the wonders there. It was inconceivable, utterly enchanting, in opulence, displaying many forms all at once. The whole creation dwelt within it, with all the elements of creation, both subtle and gross. By the desire of the Lord, I then crossed beyond that vast region of what is considered dense darkness, Gana Tamaha, and came to a place flooded with a light so brilliant, so unbearably beyond looking at, that it forced me to close my eyes. If you go beyond that realm of darkness, then you can go into the realm of light. I conceive that what the Buddhists talk of liberation is the first realm of merging into darkness, because it's almost a sense of giving up the self. But we always talk of the Brahma Jyoti. Jyoti means light. Liberation meaning the realm of light. So I think the yogis of India who desire to enter into liberation enter into that Brahma Jyoti, that realm of light, while the Buddhists discuss a realm of darkness. So the first portion of the after going through the layers is a realm of darkness, and then beyond that is a realm of light. So this is how it is all manifesting through here, the cosmic ocean, and coming down and then creating form and so forth. And here we are on the earth planet with these bodies. Petty differences and arguments and mental disturbances and all these kinds of things. The poor living being who is actually so great and magnanimous, what's the right word? Great, anyway, great. Coming from the Lord himself. Actually, the spirit soul is a product of greatness because he comes from the source of greatness. So we have a great potential within us. Spiritual nature is a great wonder, and to realize that in due course of time, of course, we can say that in one sense we can be excited that we are on this great spiritual journey. This life is one aspect of that journey, and moving upwards. One may see these wonders or go to the highest wonder. That is our goal. Why delay? Go to the highest wonder, where you will see the divine forms of Radha and Krishna in the chanting forest of Vrindavan, and participate in the sweet excellence of their divine pastimes. I'll stop at this point. Jai Gaur Premanande Hari Hari Bal.